We did it.
We did what?
You pushed buttons simultaneously.
I know. That's
I think
hard.
we started the podcast like this one more other time because I said the
Just
exact
once?
same thing. No, I mean like me saying yay, you pushed both buttons at the same time.
Oh, okay. Well, I imagine this will not be the last time that we start like that because it's hard. We should explain that I'm pushing the button on the iPad, which is doing the recording, and then I'm pushing the button on my iPhone, which has the timer on it, which I've now because I like you so much, I'm facing it towards you so you can see what the time. Anyway.
Well, you have the timer on that one, so I have it on this one.
Right. Well, yeah, but sometimes I've had both timers facing towards me because I'm a schmuck.
Dinner for you.
Yeah. But yeah, no, it's hard to push the two buttons at the same time, and even now, that they're not quite in sync.
I think you've actually explained this before as well. So it's like it's a flashback episode.
It's a flashback. It's like
episode. This is 13, right?
It'd be good to know that.
Yeah, this is episode 13, I think.
Is it really episode 13? I think it. No, I can't find out there. Hold on.
I can find out. Hold on.
It could be episode 13. It's just that we had 2 episodes in a row since the last time we spoke. So we might be thinking it's episode 13.
I think it is.
When in fact it could be episode 14.
Hold on.
It's episode 13.
Fuck you. We needed to do that long to figure out it was 13.
It's episode 13. Lucky 13?
Yeah, it's right before Halloween too. Let's date this.
Yeah. How do you feel about the number 13? Is it lucky? Is it unlucky? Is it just a number?
The hotel I was staying at, more stuff to be listened to later, but didn't have that many floors. So
did not have. Oh, okay.
It had 7, and I was on the top floor.
Gotcha. You were at a hotel.
Yes.
Yeah. Where were you at? Were you just sort of like, you just like went down the street to stay at a hotel because your apartment was boring you, or?
Yeah, I went to the motel in Air.
In Air. Okay. Were there any?
The 1 floor.
Well, no, I guess were there any prostitutes? Like, was there any like stuff happening in the motel? Because that's what I think of when I think of motels. Is that there's. It
was funny. My dad and I were talking about it on the way to the airport.
Yeah.
In Tewksbury. It was the old Caswell Hotel, and it was like it had like the sign, and it said hot tubs, and it had a heart.
Yeah.
Where it said hot tubs. And my dad says they tore it down. And I'm like, oh, where are you going to go for all your crack and prostitutes now, Pop?
I did wonder if there was anything in that area when I started watching, and I've still never finished watching it, Breaking Bad. Like, I had students who swore by Breaking Bad, so I found it on Netflix and I started
watching. Don't swear in my class. But thank you.
Yeah. No, don't. And I saw that they had that motel that like Jesse ends up. Have you seen the show?
Yes.
Okay. I still haven't seen it all the way through, but the motel in the early episodes of season 1 where Jesse's why am I trying not to swear? I was just about to say fucking.
Your kid is not here.
She's not here. No. Where Jesse's like fucking the prostitute, and that's where all the drug deals seem to be happening. And I wondered, are there places like that in our area, or is our area pristine?
And they just tore it down.
They just tore it down.
In Tewksbury. It's right near the 99 on Route 38.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I know what you're talking about.
Okay.
Gotcha.
So, good.
So
look it up, guys. So like some classic photos online of the Motel Caswell.
So you were driving not to the Tewksbury Airport. There
was a Tewksbury Airport?
I think there's an airport in Tewksbury.
I know there's one in Worcester.
I think there used to be one in Tewksbury.
Okay, well, we weren't going there. We were going to Logan Airport in Boston.
Okay, I was gonna say because I don't think the Tewksbury Airport like could fly you anywhere where you'd need to stay at a hotel. I think it would probably they kind of like wee went up in the sky.
They take me to Marlborough, which is where I used to live, and then the Marlborough Airport is right down the street, so I could take a flight
to Marlborough and stay at a hotel in Marlborough.
Or I could just crash on my old place's couch because John lives there still, and still friends with the person that owns the house, so I
Gotcha.
imagine she'd be okay with me crashing on the couch if necessary.
Right. Okay. Well, so yeah, point proven. You could fly from Tewksbury to somewhere that you'd need to stay.
Well, I could possibly walk home from Marlborough, but that would be a long fucking walk.
Yeah. Yeah. It's not good to walk for long distances, I have found. I like to walk for long distances, but by the time I'm done walking the really long distance, which seemed like a good idea at the time,
Yeah.
I can't even stand up.
Well, you have to like think about like how long can I walk before my legs are gonna go like jelly, and then do half of that. And then you'll walk back and be fine. And I'm like, fine. I'm where I'm supposed to be at home.
Gotcha.
Okay,
so you're on the way to the airport.
No, well, I gotta rewind.
We gotta rewind. I'm sorry,
because I got up like obscenely early, like 4 a.m. here, and because I was going to the West Coast, it would have been 1 a.m. there.
Ugh.
So I got up and I had my breakfast, and I had a poo, and I took a shower, and I was ready to go. I was dressed. I just tightened my belt, and I was ready to go. I'm heading out the door.
Yeah.
Then my tummy tum says round 2.
Round 2 of poo or round 2 of something?
Round 2 of poo.
Oh, okay.
So I was just like, oh no. And so I just got completely undressed.
Okay.
Ran back in there.
Oh no.
Because I knew it wasn't gonna be good. Because like when
I was gonna say, do you routinely get fully undressed just to go to the bathroom?
But I was just like, I'm going to, I'm definitely gonna need a shower after this.
Okay. Oh God. That's how much round 2 it was. It was really
so
round 2.
Crap, literally.
Yeah.
And so I had a very, very active bowel movement, if you want to say.
I'm very active.
And then I was just like, and then like when I was all done, like I was like, okay, like I sat for a bit just to make sure there wasn't round 3.
Make sure there wasn't anything left.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I think I've shit out everything that's inside me good.
Mm-hmm.
And so I, did a couple of quick wipes and then jumped in the shower to finish off the job.
Yeah.
And then, and then I got right back to being dressed in sort of damp clothing because I didn't dry myself off, and my towel was still kind of wet from my first shower.
Right.
And so I'm in, and I'm like 15 minutes late of where I'm supposed to be.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't want to be late for the fucking plane, and then be like, I have to take the next one if there's a next one.
That's assuming. Yeah.
And I'm like, fuck. And so my dad was driving me in, so I'm like, I raced there, and I'm like trying not to get pulled over because if I get pulled over, that's
even more time.
So I'm like, I don't want to speed too much. I'm like riding the line of speeding too much, and then when I got on the highway, it was fine because I don't like going over 75 anyways on the highway.
Yeah.
So I'm like, this is fine, and I'm like, had a good tick. So I ended up only being about 15 minutes late, and my dad was waiting outside already.
Yeah.
And he was ripping a butt, and I gave him my keys, my car keys and my house keys, because the only thing I possibly could have done with my keys in Seattle was lose them.
Yeah, that's a fair point.
And so I'm like, I don't need these at all. I'm handing these to my father. Yeah. So he holds on to them until I get back because he's picking me up.
Yeah, I can't remember what we did with our keys when we went to Florida, because I think my parents had left their keys in my house or something like that.
Did you fly out of Manchester?
Yeah, we flew out of Manchester, and I think we had our keys, and I think we locked our keys in the hotel room at Disney so as not to lose them, because that's totally what I would have done.
Yeah. So I didn't.
I have a very important question.
Uh-oh.
You're going to the airport and you're wearing a belt. Like, does the belt set off like the
It did
metal?
not. It did not.
Okay.
But the thing is, we've talked about it a couple times. I've lost weight.
Yeah. So you need
if I don't wear my belt, my pants are falling down.
Yeah. That would be worse.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Yeah,
but it was cool. Like, they didn't make me take my shoes off or whatever, and I just put all my electronic stuff in my backpack over here.
Yeah.
And
no shoes. They didn't make you take your shoes off?
They didn't make me take my shoes off.
Oh my God.
Well,
what's the world coming to?
I don't know.
Getting lax in our security.
They were testing people for Ebola, though.
Oh, I was gonna say you don't have Ebola, right? You didn't get
apparently
Ebola
not, because they were like, you're good to go, because they tested me both times.
All right.
On the way there and on the way back. So
okay. All right. It's very important that you get tested for Ebola. You could get Ebola. You could kill us all.
Well, apparently I won't, because I don't have Ebola as of when I flew back from Seattle, and
all those dirty hippies in Seattle. I
haven't had extensive contact with lots of people since I've gotten back. So I did go get milk when I first got back.
When you first got back.
That's jumping the gun.
You should allow a little bit of time in case the Ebola develops after your flight. In case it's one of the security guards testing you that gave you the Ebola. You should have waited a little while longer.
I wasn't making out with him or licking his asshole, so I think I'm fine.
It's funny that you said licking his asshole because I thought that's what you were gonna say, and
am I that predictable now?
Well, no, it's not that you're that predictable. It's that we're on the same wavelength. I was
good.
In terms of making a joke about how he could have gotten Ebola, I think he should go for licking his asshole.
Well, thanks.
So anyway, I just wanted to the belt thing. I totally feel you because I've been there myself. I'm not there now. I'm filling out my pants as opposed to needing the belt. But that's a thing when going to the airport where I've needed it in the past. I'm like, I don't want to wear the belt. Where's the tightest pair of pants I have?
So you're just hipster guy flying?
Yeah.
How comfortable is that going to be when you're on the plane?
It's not comfortable.
You can undo your belt when you're in your seat.
I know. It's not comfortable. So just, wear the belt. Well, but I always, I don't want anything on me that's even remotely metal that I have to
What if you were
off.
wearing an Iron Maiden shirt?
That's fair point. I don't own an Iron Maiden shirt, but I think I want one now.
So the next time you fly, they're like, well,
hey,
this is really metal.
You didn't. Why did my shirt set off your thing?
It's wicked fucking metal, dude.
I actually didn't have to go through. There was one time I didn't have to take shoes off because I had the kids. This most recent, we got to go through a special line because the kids were considered TSA pre-screened.
And so therefore you were
and therefore I because I was the guardian of the child, I was allowed to go through.
What about your dad? Did he have to go through the normal?
Well, my dad and my mom, I think based on the company that my mom works for, she gets TSA pre-screened.
I think anybody can do it. I think you just have to go.
Yeah, but I think somehow because of the amount of times she's traveled for work and because of what they do or something. I think they have some government contract or something. I don't know. I just know that she was TSA pre-screened both times. We were TSA pre-screened one time because...
It's probably because you have no affiliation with ISIL or ISIS.
Yes, and because I don't have Ebola.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Pretty sure.
I don't know.
That is how we're all going to die.
You've been licking a lot of ass lately.
I have been licking a lot of ass. Yes.
I like how you're just dejectedly agreed with me. Yep. You know what?
There's no sense denying it. I'm an ass licker.
Oh, cool. Neat. What are you doing later?
Licking ass.
Went without saying, but
there's part of me that fears for the day that a student
listens to this
with good audio. Well, I fear for that day all the time, but that a student with good audio skills listens to this and comes up with a soundboard of various things that I've said. So
on his phone, he's got a soundboard. He's like, I love licking ass.
There'll just be a quiet moment in the middle of class where I'm waiting for somebody to speak and my back is turned to them and I'm at the board and that smart ass student will just be like, I like licking ass.
Well, he could have done that because you've probably said each of those words on this podcast separately.
Right.
So if you helped him out a little bit, so he didn't have to do the work.
He didn't have to do a lot of splicing.
Yeah, he could just do here you go.
Here you go.
Just for you.
What other funny things should I say? What other
playing t-ball with the kid? Here you go.
I'm playing t-ball with the kids. No, wait, was that supposed to be said?
I don't know.
All right.
So back to the. So I get go through all the security and whatnot, and I just said I got there probably a good 20 minutes before they started boarding, which is probably a good amount of time.
Yeah.
I was a little nervous at first. Hence the tummy problems, I think.
Did you have to check any luggage?
No. I had the luggage I bought it at Sears for $20. And I'm like, this is one trip's worth of luggage, I think.
Yeah,
Because, like, I don't travel a heck of a lot. I might in the future, and that it didn't fall apart on me.
Yeah.
And I brought my backpack as well.
Right.
And that had my, like, books and my Game Boy and games on it. So I could, do that
Have
on the
something
plane.
to do.
Read on the plane or whatever.
Because they frown on masturbation on the planes these days.
I did not do that. Or even in the bathroom.
I think there's been talk of actually having the little light up symbol, like the no smoking. Like they need to put up a no masturbation one because it's been such an issue on planes.
Has it?
I mean, maybe I want to think it's an issue because I've had to stop masturbating on planes.
How long was the flight that you were on? I was on a 5-hour flight. And I could make it. How much do you masturbate? As much as you lick ass?
It's because, I don't necessarily think about licking ass while I'm masturbating. It has happened on occasion.
I didn't ask that.
All right, so you made it on the flight.
Yes, so, and it was JetBlue, so they have like a little TV screen on the back.
Yes, and you can watch pretty much anything, right?
Well, anything that's on like basic cable.
Okay.
And they have movies you can buy, but the picture quality wasn't
great.
I'm going to spend $5 on a movie.
Yeah. How big was the screen?
It was about maybe the size of the top screen. Maybe a little bit bigger.
Yeah.
The top screen
like 5,
of
6, 7 inches.
a Nintendo DS XL. So it wasn't fantastic, but it was close to your face.
Yeah. I've always wanted. Did they give you lots of candy too?
No, they gave me like chips and stuff.
Okay, it wasn't in like a basket, was it?
It wasn't a bag. They were carrying it in a basket over.
See, and my entire relationship or understanding of how JetBlue works is all based on a Patton Oswalt bit, where he talks about JetBlue being the best. And so I was curious about whether or not it actually was.
I have not flown in approximately 5 years.
Yeah.
And that was to Washington, D.C. last time. This time it was to Washington State.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, like, this was it wasn't a huge plane.
Yeah.
So they didn't have, like, the crazy amenities or anything.
Right.
But, JetBlue doesn't have a first class section.
Yeah.
But they have, like, the more legroom seats. So you can pay a little bit more for more legroom.
Yeah.
But I didn't have an issue because I'm not really tall.
Yeah.
And yeah, so it was fine, and the treats were good. And I was watching I forgot my headphones. That was the one thing I forgot.
Oh.
Forgot my headphones here.
Yeah.
And I was like, shit. And so I bought some at the airport for way too much money. When I realized I could have rented them from the folks at JetBlue for $3.
Oh no!
I'm like, what? God damn it! So I plugged them in, and I was watching. I guess at 7:30, like 8 o'clock in the morning. Married with Children is on TBS.
That is.
And I'm like, because I'm flicking, and I'm like, I could watch Al Roker, I could watch the Weather Channel, but there was a neat thing on there where you could watch where the plane was.
Oh, nice.
Like, on the way there, we traveled through Canada, like, almost the entire way until we got to, like, Idaho, like, that little teeny part of Idaho.
Right.
And then we crossed back into the States and then went back into Washington.
That's interesting.
But on the way back, we were in the United States for most of the time. Except for, like, the Great Lakes. I don't know which, like, if there's a battle between the United States and Canada who owns the Great Lakes.
Yeah, I imagine there probably was. I mean, they're great.
Yeah.
I mean, if they're great, wouldn't you want them?
Yeah, we probably have them. And
the knuckleheads must want the...
That is racist.
that's racist?
Yes, knuckleheads, definitely.
That's not. They have a football team. No, they don't.
No, it's a hockey team.
They have a hockey team named the Canucks.
Yeah, they play north of where I was.
Yeah,
Vancouver, Canada.
Vancouver.
We thought about going up there, and I brought my passport just in case.
I was going to say, you don't need the passport if the plane goes through Canada, only if you land in Canada.
I know, but the air, I guess it's Canadian airspace that we're in, but I guess you don't need a passport to be
what happens, your plane has to crash land in Canada.
Hope nobody's listening to this on a plane.
But you're traveling over Canada. Your plane crash lands in Canada, right? You don't have your passport with you because you didn't need it because you were going to Seattle. And now all of a sudden you try to come back over the border into the United States, and they're like, "Fuck you, pal! You don't have your passport."
I don't think that would be an issue because you would have been a registered member of this flight.
I don't know. I'm just saying when I went to Niagara Falls for my first...
I crash landed in my plane. What?
When I went to Niagara Falls for my first wedding anniversary in 2002, we had absolutely zero issue crossing the border from the United States into Canada, and on the way back into the United States, we got pulled over into the interrogation place. My wife and I were both separated and interrogated separately, and it turned out that the reason that they did all of this is because our own country's border patrol found a rope in the trunk.
Because you had a rope?
We had rope.
So they were like, trunk. You thought you were potheads because you had hemp?
No, it wasn't. That we had rope in the trunk. There were other extenuating circumstances.
A shovel, lime.
No, the shovel. We'd forgotten the lime because we put the lime in the coconut, and that messed everything up. I'm sorry.
You're such a silly woman. Ooh, 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 ooh.
All right. Are you in? You were just in Canada. You were in Canadian airspace,
and then we went into the United States. It was a very uneventful flight. It was a little shaky when we were getting up to speed, but after that, it was all right. Yeah. And they let us piss, which is neat.
That is.
I definitely didn't have to. Well,
they let you piss?
Why is that? This fasten seatbelt sign. You're not supposed to get out of your seat unless you'd like it to imagine it's an emergency. But I already had my emergency before I got on the plane. Which I was a little bit late, but I would have rathered shitting here.
Yes,
and being able to bathe afterwards because it was explosive.
Than to shit in the
than to shit at the airport A or on the plane B.
Now, if you had an explosive shit on the plane,
yes,
is it your responsibility to clean the explosive shit, or do you just sort of like pretend that it was the guy before you and go back to your seat?
I don't know. I've never had an explosive shit on a plane. Anybody out there, email us at hot@clarkwoods.com if you've had shitting on the airplane stories.
Yes. It was a particularly explosive shitting on the airplane.
Yeah,
I mean, I think I've shit on an... That's a good question. I don't know if I've shit on an airplane or if I've always just held it until I got to the airport.
Here's what I think I would do. If there's someone waiting outside...
Then you fucking clean it.
No. If there's someone waiting outside, just be like, whoo, it's the guy before me. Holy crap. And then just run out of there. If there's no one there, don't say anything.
Okay. So in both cases, you don't clean it.
Yeah.
All right.
What are you cleaning up? It's in the toilet. Like, you're shitting outside the toilet?
No, I'm saying explosive. Like, I mean really explosive. Like, if you, like, maybe you didn't make it to the toilet on time, or maybe you were about to get up. You get up, your ass is just like, oh, I got a little bit more, all over the fucking place. And, like, at that point, do you clean it?
Yes. At that point, when you make a fucking mess of this.
When you commit a brown crime, right there.
Is that a new thing you're trying?
It's a Patton Oswalt thing.
Oh, okay.
It's from one of his bits.
Is it from the JetBlue plane?
No, it was a separate bit.
Okay. It was a pretty uneventful flight. It was nice. We actually got there early. I think it was only 4.5 hours.
Mm-hmm.
And so I got to the airport, and they have the commuter rail type thing. It's not quite as outstandingly expensive as the one in this area.
Yeah, which is ridiculous.
Well, actually, no, it's not really a commuter rail because it's only really goes from the airport to downtown.
Mm-hmm.
But it's it wasn't super expensive. It was like $2.75 to get from there to like 3 blocks from where my hotel was.
Yeah. But still, that's way better than having to find a cab or get on a bus. Or I don't know why I feel like something on rail is better than a bus, but it just feels.
I think it is because they're usually better on time because they don't have to deal with traffic.
They don't have to deal with traffic. Yeah.
But yeah, it was pretty cool. And then Mike, Sarah, and we're the only ones of our friends that have this app.
Yeah.
But it's called Find My Friends.
I have Find My Friends.
Okay, well, we're gonna have to.
We'll have to put it on there. I have Find My Friends because my wife doesn't know how to call when she's on her way from. She got much better, but like. I'd be worried about where the hell she was. So you
could look and find your friends. And she's like she's a block or two away.
She's safe and alive.
Yeah, she's moving currently.
She's moving. Yeah. Because I feel like every time I would call her to say, "Where are you at?" I would be annoying. So now I just stalk her. I would find my friends.
It was funny last Thanksgiving. I did Fun Spots giving because I'm sad and lonely, and went up to Fun Spot by myself for Thanksgiving. And so I went to Hart's Turkey Farm for dinner.
For dinner, yeah.
Yeah, and so Mike starts texting me.
Yeah.
How's Hart's Turkey Farm?
You're like, how do you wait? What?
And I'm like, oh yeah, find my friends. And so when I got there, Mike was like, oh, you're here, and he's like, I see you're on the light rail or whatever, and I'm like, creepy.
Creepy. It is a little creepy the first couple times you do it.
But it was like he apparently works pretty close to where my hotel was, so I was like, oh, dude, let's get lunch.
Yeah.
When I got there, so I got lunch. We went to this falafel place, or
did they have shawarma?
They did have shawarma. I think that's what Mike got. I got falafel. He got shawarma.
Shawarma.
And
the Avengers. That's where I know shawarma from.
Okay, well, he got shawarma. I got falafel, and it was right across the street from a strip club / porn store.
Nice.
And so we were just kind of like sitting across from it, just like kind of talking about it.
Yeah.
And because it was just like, what is up? But like, it was really, they put a lot of work on the outside of the building. They had like the giant light up signs. That were like,
not a giant light up ass.
No, not giant light up ass. It was more subtle than that, I suppose.
Good.
But they had like, and there was like one-on-one talk booths. And I'm like,
they used to have those in Boston.
I don't know what that is. Is it like, because we didn't want to go inside and investigate.
I just admitted to something I shouldn't have admitted to.
That's fine.
I'm sorry, yeah. So go on.
So what is a one-on-one talk booth?
Well, I don't know if it's the same thing, but there was a, when the Combat Zone in Boston was actually the Combat Zone, and now it's just an extension of the theater district, there were a number of places that were just a few blocks away from where I worked at the time, on Boylston Street. And one of them, you would go in, and they had two different kinds of places where you could interact with the performers. One was you would go into a solo, like a booth, and it was just like that Madonna video where like you put the quarter in.
Oh, and yeah, I've seen that.
But that was like a whole bunch of booths around this central place where somebody was performing.
Oh,
right?
Okay.
The other thing that you could do in that place was you could go into a booth that always smelled a little bit like, am I really going to want to sit down in here?
Like bleach or...
Yeah, like bleach.
Or cum, or both.
Like bleach with a little bit of some sort of vaguely fruit scent that you couldn't tell like what fruit it was, just that it was trying to smell a little bit better than bleach.
It was lychee, in fact.
Yeah. And so you'd go into this booth, you would put down the bench seat, which would be what also would double.
And it's like, oh, it's wet, I just sat and cum.
That would also be what would keep the door from opening on you. You'd put the quarters or the dollar or the whatever in there, and then a divider would come down, and there would be a performer right there, and you could pick up the phone and ask and request things of her, and there was a slot in the wall to put in tips. So I suppose
could you have been like, I would like you to do my taxes and put like the 104B form. I'm making up a number, but
you could, I suppose.
How much does that cost? If it's less than H&R Block, then please.
Just guess it's a very, very strange interaction, and I don't think that I don't think the interaction ever went where that kind of interaction is supposed to go, because I was so like, this person is like, I've been to a strip club, I've had a lap dance and a table dance and those sort, like those are things that are happened, but then there's a woman that's behind glass, and you can ask her to do pretty much anything you want behind that glass, and it's all just a matter of money. I didn't know.
Is that where "put it on the glass" came from? Then
it could. I don't know. So it was really weird.
Like a suction cup.
There was a point. There was a point. I can't believe I'm actually telling this story. I don't know if I did it once or twice. Went into one of these things.
Well, I LARPed twice, so I guess that's
that's somehow the same. And I believe that at one point she said to me, I'll show you mine if you show me yours. And I was just like, wait, what? And I didn't because I was like, this is what went through my brain.
Was he being shy at the point? And you were like, I don't know.
No, he was not being shy. He was ready for interaction, I suppose. But I was just like, this has got to be an undercover cop. Like this, like there's no way. Like I'm gonna do this, and she's trying to get me to do this, and I'm gonna arrest her.
Is that illegal to show you mine?
I don't know.
She could show you hers
young,
whatever.
I was just like, she could show you hers. Like the place is probably licensed for that. But I was like, is this indecent exposure? Like she did say, you show me, and I'll show you. Like, but I was just like, yeah, and then the rest of it was just gross. I have to say, because like the lighting is not kind to.
Is it like track lighting or like office lighting or was it just really dark?
No, it was brighter than what you'd expect out of like you go into a strip club and there's a certain level of lighting that is, I think, not attractive, is flattering to whoever the performer is, even
and the clientele.
And the clientele, right? It's just
because usually they're gems too.
Yeah. But this was not flattering, and there was a point at which the performer, probably having no idea what the hell to do with me, who like was just sitting there like nervously waiting out till the screen went back up, where she like showed me everything like right up against the glass, and I saw more than a gynecologist probably sees. And I was just like,
speculum and everything.
I was just like,
Did she have her legs up in stirrups?
She pretty close. It was really weird. And I don't think I ever went back there, but.
Well, that's good. I'm glad you had such a great second experience.
But that is what I think what was it called? A
one-on-one talk booth.
One-on-one talk booth.
I'm
pretty sure.
So I'm glad you cleared that up, and Mike's going to be very happy that he knows that now. The thing is, like, I think we've talked about glory holes before, but I imagine at the porn store there are those. But at Mike's place, he lives right near a bar that it's called Pony.
Okay.
And he lives in a very gay district.
Okay.
And he didn't know that this place was a gay bar when he first went in. And he went into the bathroom, and there was of course, a glory hole. Well, not of course, but there was a glory hole.
There was a glory hole.
And it was the, like on an ice cream truck, they have like the dragon or a clown head and you throw garbage in.
Yes. That's where the glory hole.
That's basically what it was, and it said like above it, "Feed the clown."
It was a clown?
Yes, it was a clown.
Oh my god. That's just like a horror movie. Like, I don't know how you feel about clowns, but
a lot of people don't like clowns.
People don't like clowns, and like to stick my wiener in the clown's mouth. My dew flipper.
Dew flipper.
Dew flipper. I have to say, in terms of funny words for penis, I think I've tried to like get my mom to cop to the fact that like dew flipper was a word that was used in our house. I remember, and I'd be curious to hear what my brother had to say about this. I remember dew flipper being a word for penis in our house.
I don't know
if anybody else who has ever heard that one, but I swear that was one that was used in our house.
I like it. I think I might use that on occasion in the future.
So you went? Did you go to this bar that had the
No.
Okay.
We did not go to. We did not go to. Although I was curious, not that kind of curious, to go and check it out, but I was not that curious.
Okay, yeah.
But well, yeah. Then after lunch, I went and took a nap.
Okay.
Because I was very sleepy, and all the falafels had filled me up. And I took a little bit, like maybe 3 or 4 hour nap. And then when Mike got out of work, he met me near the hotel and we started whacking. We just started whacking. In the middle of the street.
Each other or just together?
No, we just started walking back to where he lives. And there was like right as we met up, like there was a dude that was riding a bicycle on the sidewalk, and you know it's kind of not cool to do that, especially during like heavy traffic times of day. Yeah, because there's lots of people on the sidewalk.
Do they have the?
They have the bike. They have bike lanes. Okay, and he was just being a dink. Yeah, and he bumped into Mike as we were, walking by, and then there was like almost an altercation. Oh, jeez. And I was like, fuck. I'm like, we're gonna get stabbed in the first 5 minutes. Yay! So it was weird because like that interaction, and there was a lot. I don't know, like it's been a while since I've been. Actually, no, it hasn't been that long since I've been in downtown Boston proper. Yeah. There's not that many homeless people, and the ones that are there, they seem to just be drunk. Yeah, like chronically homeless drunk guys and I'm like, there are people that you can help more easily that are trying to get back on their feet, but these are the folks that aren't because they'd rather just drink. Yeah. But there was a lot of crazy homeless. Okay. Like should be in an institution, should be on medication, might be on medication but might not be taking it or something like that. Yeah. And it's just like, oh no. And it's just like I'm like it was a very nice city, and like during the day there was a lot of cool stuff going on. Right. But like I don't know. Yeah. Is there a football game going on? Is that why people are screaming so much?
There might be. The Patriots might be on right now. I'm not sure.
I don't have cable. So.
One thing I've always wondered about Seattle, and I wonder about do people still wear flannel in Seattle?
A little bit, yeah.
A little bit.
Well, I mean, that's where the birthplace. I mean, and it's kind of back anyways.
Is it back? Oh God.
Well, it goes in 20-year cycles. So.
I know. That just makes me sad because that means my 20-year high school reunion is coming up, and
mine's right around the corner too.
Ugh, mine is.
I don't know if I'll go to it. But
Stephanie and I were just having that conversation about whether or not she says she would not go to hers. I'm kind of undecided about whether I'd go to mine.
I'll come along as your date.
Okay. All right.
We'll be like, we'll talk about the podcast.
We'll talk about the podcast. We'll try.
Be like, we're podcast
team. We'll use it as a marketing venture.
Yeah. Look at that.
And we'll bring the microphone and we'll just sit down and we'll interview random people from...
It's like, I sort of remember you, and I was some snot-nosed kid that you probably made fun of.
Yeah.
Or probably...
were the homeless people wearing flannel?
I don't remember.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say, like, are they former grunge stars who just like their bands?
No, it was just I don't know. It brings me to another story like that's on day 2, but I'm gonna go back to day 1. Okay. So like it was like Friday, like that was Thursday when I got there, and so Friday we went out after they got out of work. Yeah. And we went out to a Mexican place for just like because none of us were really that hungry yet. Yeah. So we just got we went to their Mexican place for happy hour. Because they can have it there. Like, it's weird because, like, when people are talking about happy hour, I'm like, well, we live in Massachusetts, so that doesn't exist. But, so we're at happy hour. I got, like, a 32-ounce giant Corona and a shot of tequila. Jesus. And some other thing. And then we left. I left my umbrella there. That was the first place that I left. The second place was my hotel, so I didn't have to, like, go find it or anything. Mm-hmm. But I left my umbrella there, and as we're leaving, Mike kind of tore off a little bit ahead of us, and he was wearing a backpack, so I go, "Hey, nupsack, slow down!" And then some dude nearby him goes, "Did you just call me dope sick?"
Oh, Jesus!
And I'm like, "Fucking hell!" Oh my! And I'm like, "No, I called him nupsack because he's wearing a backpack." And he's just like, he just had this crazy look on his face, and then like we were just kind of like shuffle really fast. Get away from he was kind of following us. I'm like, fuck no! Oh jeez. And he's like, he thought Mike and I were brothers. Because we both have hair that's brown, or darker hair and beards, so therefore we're related.
Of course.
And so he's like, I'm gonna hit your weird brother, talking to Mike. And I was like, oh no. And he goes to hit me with the cardboard box he was holding.
Yeah. Oh, did he?
No, he didn't. And then we kind of just shuffled across the street and we got rid of him. Oh, and then I'm like, fuck, we have to go back to get my umbrella.
You have to go back by this guy?
We did not see him on the way back, thank God.
Yeah.
Dope sick.
Oh man, poor old dope sick. He was just he just misunderstood.
So yeah, that was my interactions with I was just like, when there was people that were like, and because normally I'm a way to make a way to be friendly is to make non-aggressive eye contact.
Yeah, just
like a slight glance.
Yeah,
not murderous look in your eye. And then you just smile and say hello or just nod or whatever. Yeah, I think that's a friendly.
I think that is absolutely friendly.
And so I was doing that at first, and I'm like, should I stop doing this? And I'm like, should I only do it to young, attractive women because
it's not working out so well with the other dudes.
I get crazies that are just like, like, I don't know if I should make eye contact. If I just be like, you're my brother, I need to stab you. I stabbed my brother already.
That's unfortunate. I'm trying to think of. There's a show that I listen to called Roderick on the Line, and one guy is up in Seattle and the other guy is down in San Francisco, and they do talk about the homeless problem. That's not their primary topic.
Yeah, but I imagine both. Well, I think San Francisco.
I think San Francisco has it worse, but both cities I think probably have a substantial issue. And I don't get down to downtown Boston, even though I drive into Cambridge 4 days out of the week. I don't get across the river to downtown Boston. But I think you're right. I think there are certainly the enclaves in around certain areas of Boston Common, and then there's certainly a lot on certain areas of Mass Ave in Cambridge, but not like that.
Yeah, I don't know. I think maybe we just have better mental health care for our homeless populations and
it probably could still use some work, but we probably
and you'd think Massachusetts, but they apparently in Seattle and Washington don't have income tax.
Oh, okay, yeah. So
but they're crazy. They do have a crazy high. It's 9 or maybe 10%. Sales tax.
Okay. Oh, right. So not like New Hampshire.
No.
Not live free or die. Let's get you over here instead.
Yeah, I don't see. At least in Massachusetts, our tax burden is you're up in New Hampshire, but at least in Massachusetts, the tax burden is sort of balanced.
Right. Yeah.
Because it comes a little bit from your income, a little bit from
your property,
a little bit from
your purchases.
Purchases, yeah. Not all at once buying stuff.
Yeah, that's I
don't know how Oregon, if it's any better. People go down south, is Oregon the New Hampshire?
Oh, maybe that. Now I think about it, the other guy might be from Portland and from Oregon and not from Seattle. I'm not sure. I don't know.
Well, it's probably.
But anyway, yeah, it's probably similar.
Goddamn liberals, and they're fucking letting all the homeless be there.
Oh my God, I can't even I've had political conversations without really wanting to over the last couple of weeks. I try right now. No, I try very hard not to, because my views are not. I don't feel like I have enough stuff to back up the way that I feel about issues, and the people that I'm almost being forced into these conversations with have quote unquote facts that may not be facts, but they're getting
Fox News facts
from Facts News, or wherever they're getting them from, and I hate political conversations.
Okay, well, let's not have it then.
Yeah,
I was just being a goof.
Yeah, no, but it's just thinking about that, it's crazy. I wish people wouldn't talk politics with me. But
well, then I won't, I promise. Until I do. And then I'm sorry. So yeah, we but back to day one, Thursday, we went out with Lee and Ann, friends of theirs. Mm-hmm. Yeah. We went out to a nice little restaurant that was fancier than I'm accustomed, but it wasn't bad. I was wearing a blazer.
Yeah.
So it was cool.
Right.
They were like, you kind of sort of belong here, I think, maybe. I don't know.
You got a blazer.
Because you got a blazer on. So... And then we had that nice little dinner, and then we went to a place called Unicorn, not a gay bar. But, or maybe, I don't know.
You never know.
It was in the district that was, quote unquote, the gay district.
Right.
But it wasn't necessarily. There was pinball machines, and I think there was only 1 or 2 days while I was there that I did not play an excessive amount of pinball. So we went and played pinball, and Sarah was excited because they had a claw machine.
Oh, yeah.
And so I go down there, and I'm looking, and they have the normal stuffed animal fare that's in the claw machine.
Right.
But there's also 15-inch dildos.
You say this is not a gay bar.
It's not a gay bar.
Okay.
But it was just like they also had like, some stuff like, other sex toys and things.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's interesting.
Were they wrapped? I mean,
yeah, they were wrapped.
Okay.
They were just hanging around.
I was gonna say, like, if it was just an unwrapped, 15-inch
dong,
green dong. I don't know why I'm thinking it's green, because I'm thinking of Martians from Toy Story who worship the claw. So you've got a 15-inch green Martian dong in there with no packaging on it. Like,
there was packaging, but there was no way that claw was going to pick that thing up.
Okay.
Ever. Those things are going to be in there forever, and there's going to be some horny girl or horny guy or whatever that's going to be like, oh my god, I need that huge dong
after the
inside
apocalypse.
Me.
They're going to smash the glass, and they're going to be like the last
or they
man
could
or
just
woman on Earth.
Go to the one-on-one talk booth's place and actually buy one.
Well, but if you didn't,
not spend $50 trying to get it in a claw game.
But if this is the apocalypse and they're the last one of their gender on Earth, and they just need a little bit of lovin', and they go to how would that work?
They wouldn't need to break the glass. I think they could probably find the key.
Find the key, get the dildo.
That would be like more fun, like a Resident Evil game where you're walking around Unicorn, which I kept on calling Unicron because it was already kind of buzzed.
Yes.
And I got
the only Transformers movie I'm willing to acknowledge exists, by the way.
Transformers, the movie.
The Transformers, the movie.
Oh, okay, sorry. My mistake.
Get it right there, Bucker. Buster?
What the fuck was the drink that I had there? I forget. It was called, I forgot what it was called.
Was that the Unicorn, and what was in it?
It was some Red Hot stuff and some other things, and they were like, oh, it's a dangerous drink, and I drank it, and I guess I wasn't as dangerous. Because, I don't know. I guess I've got a tolerance for alcohol. But yeah, it was cool. I had the weird drink, and then I had some beer, and then we played pinball, and then I went home and went to bed.
Nice.
And then what else? Oh yeah, on Friday, Sarah took me to Nintendo.
Nice. I was gonna say I didn't quite get to. I had like a list of questions I want to ask, and part of what was in my brain was like, what are the companies that are up there? Obviously, Microsoft is in Redmond, and I don't know how far out.
Nintendo is right near where Microsoft is.
Okay.
I got this awesome T-shirt.
Not a Super Nintendo T-shirt. Yeah. I love it. I gotta say, like, out of all the system, I like the name Super Nintendo more than I like pretty much like any of the other ones. Nintendo 64, Wii,
Well, it was going to be called the Ultra 64 when it was first coming out.
But Super Nintendo, it has just a ring to it.
Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis.
Yeah. Like that, Sega Genesis even, like, that's a good name for a system.
Yeah.
Now, Xbox. Ugh. Sounds like Sexbox is what it sounds like.
Well, the Xbox was called that because, like, I guess the thing that people used to play games on a PC was like X something or.
Oh, okay, yeah, I get it.
And that's
DirectX.
DirectX, and so they just made it a DirectX box.
Slight tangent. Probably the same job I was at where I went to the nudie booths. I had a boss there, and it was one of her friends was actually on the Xbox team at Microsoft before the Xbox was even released. So she was telling me about this new game system that was coming out. I was like, Microsoft's putting out a game system? It's gonna fail.
Well, actually, the first one didn't do great because a lot of people got it just because they could basically turn it into like a pirated game machine because you could play like every. Like,
you could play any emulator you wanted, right?
Yeah, on it, and you could play it on the controller, and you could a lot of people had it for that, and then they were like, maybe we need to have it be a little bit...
have it be a little bit more...
So the Xbox 360 was...
Yeah, I was going to say that's the one that really...
But it's funny, because, like, everybody, like, you forget, like, out of that, like, saga of the console wars.
Yeah.
The Wii was the one that was basically the most sold out of that cluster.
Yeah. Well,
and I forget because, like, the Wii, it was basically like the Wii U.
I mean,
it was like very much only first party supported.
Right. It's funny, but I'm not surprised by that as somebody who doesn't know that much about video game statistics and whatnot, because my friend Stacy got it. We went over to Stacy's house one summer or fall, and she had the Wii and the Wii Fit. And both Stephanie and I were like, well, we'd like to lose some weight, and this looks like a fun way to do it. And there are also some games that maybe Kaylee could have. This is before Melody was born.
Yeah. Well, Nintendo has been known to have games that are good for almost anybody.
So like Stacy got it that Christmas. We got it the following Christmas. My mother got it. Like, it was just like my parents had not had a video game system since
Nintendo.
Since Nintendo, or like, and I can never remember whether John owned the Super Nintendo or we as a family owned the Super Nintendo.
Probably it was John, because I think it was stuck in his room.
Well, but it was out in the living room for a little while, the Super Nintendo. Like, I played the Super Nintendo. I know that I did. That's why I always wonder. But it might have been his. He might have just had it out in the other room because it had the bigger TV. Anyway, you went to Nintendo.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't. I couldn't go into, like, the offices. I couldn't go to visit Reggie.
But is there, like, this, I mean, is there a store there?
Yeah, it's a store, but it's weird because, like, it's mainly for employees because you have to be a guest to go there.
Okay, yeah.
Like, in the first place,
right.
Unless you are an employee or an employee with a guest.
Yeah, I've always wondered, because one of the things that when I worked,
like, the shirt was not expensive, which was cool.
It wasn't, or it was?
Was not.
Was not. One of the things when I worked at Apple, like, one of the big things that you kind of, like, as an Apple employee wanted to do was visit the quote-unquote mothership, which is One Infinite Loop in Cupertino in California. And apparently there's a store there, but I don't know if that store is like Nintendo's, only open to employees and guests, or if you could just go there just as an Apple fanatic and go.
But there was some cool stuff there. Yeah. There was, like, some awesome, like, there was this giant Ganon statue that they had in the store.
Oh, nice.
That I guess is like $300. And
wow.
I don't know if I could afford that. And or I definitely would have to, like,
where would you put it?
Mail it back. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. I have a studio apartment. I guess I could put it on top of that Ninja Turtle thing.
Yeah. But yeah, you would have to mail it back.
Yeah, and I'm like, nah. Right. If I'm going to do it, I might as well just buy it elsewhere, or buy it online and then get it shipped to me. But because I spent so much, maybe they'll give me free shipping.
Maybe.
But yeah, it was really cool. Yeah. They had, like, a good little history of the arcade machines.
Right.
It would have been cool to play them, but I couldn't.
Yeah.
And I would like, I don't want to get Sarah in trouble, so I'm not going to touch them. But I got lots of street passes while I was at Nintendo.
Oh, nice.
On my DS.
Oh, cool.
On my 3DS.
3DS.
So I'm doing a commercial for Nintendo this
Apparently,
week.
They should sponsor.
I doubt they will, but they're like, this terribly dirty podcast in our relatively clean company. Although they just released Bayonetta 2, which is rated M for mature.
Do they don't do very many rated M for mature titles on the Wii, do they?
Not really, but occasionally they come out.
Yeah.
And they tend to do well because, like, the older people that have that system are like, oh, I can get this game.
Yeah, I can get it, and I don't have to switch over to whatever other system I might have sitting around.
But this is an exclusive.
Oh,
I'm totally doing a commercial for Nintendo right now. It's just like, Mike Mike works for Amazon, and he was just like, yeah, thanks for all the free plugs for Audible.
Yeah, that's like, we're never going to get any sponsors because
we keep on giving away
for free. That's not necessarily true. Our numbers, another side tangent, like, our numbers have actually gone up. I don't know percentage wise, but, like, the last couple of episodes went up by 20 or 30%, like, in terms of number of subscribers. It's getting there.
That's cool. Like, any increase is better than people unsubscribing.
Yeah, no, as far as I can tell, it just keeps going up.
All right, and so I want to just, like, we're getting close to the end.
We are, yeah.
So I'll just talk about this other place we went to go and play pinball.
Okay.
So I did the touristy stuff. I did the Space Needle.
Yeah.
And, you know, it was neat. I stood at the top of it. I took a picture with some random strangers.
As you do.
Because you know, they didn't, Mike and Sarah didn't really want to go because
they've been...
But they met me afterwards.
Right.
Like, and we went to the Sci-Fi Museum,
mm-hmm.
which I got a lot of cool pictures of, like, you know, some horror movie stuff. And
who's, like what kinds of... well, yeah, we are getting close to the end, but what kinds of stuff is in the Sci-Fi Museum?
There was, like, you know, there's horror movie stuff. Like, I got a picture of, like, the Shaun of the Dead, like, shirt that we got red on it. And some, like, you know... Jason's mask and his machete.
Oh, wow.
And Jack Torrance's axe from The Shining.
Oh, Jesus. Wow, I gotta get... I never got out to see it. I used to go when I worked for this nonprofit from 2004 to 2009, or early 2010. I went to a different city every year for the conference, but we never got out to Seattle.
But yeah, so they had the horror stuff, and they had, like, you know, sci-fi stuff. They had, like, you know, the Dalek from Doctor Who.
From Doctor Who, yeah.
They had Commander Data, or Lieutenant Commander Data's outfit from Star Trek: The Next Generation.
That's neat.
They had some, like, Klingon weapons, and some, like, they had a lightsaber, and then, like, Darth Vader's, like, prosthesis from, like...
from
Return of the Jedi.
Okay, yeah. That's neat.
And, they had a lightsaber that wasn't, you know, extended because it wasn't a real thing.
Do they also have... Is Seattle also the place where there's a Jimi Hendrix museum or something?
Yeah, it's the same museum.
Oh, it's the same thing. Oh,
yeah.
Wow. Okay.
So, yeah, so if you buy a ticket, you can go to both parts. There's, like, a music part, and there's, like, a huge, like, Nirvana section.
That is... I need to go to Seattle.
So, yeah, there was that, and then they had, like, a fantasy section that had, like, you know, some Princess Bride, and then... Labyrinth, like the David Bowie, like, codpiece one. Not Pan's Labyrinth.
Not Pan's Labyrinth. You know, I think there's a conference there that I really want to go to, although I think it's an invite-only conference. So now I want to go even more.
Just go and get yourself invited and go to this nerdy museum.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I totally recommend going there. And there was, like, in the music part, there was, like, vote for songs or whatever. And Mike ended up voting for, like, the best breakup song. He voted for the Pokemon theme song. And for some unknown reason, that probably being that Mike and a lot of other dickheads voted for that because it was number one.
Is it a thing that changes every day, or is
I don't know,
but that's number one.
It might have been like it changes every day, and he was the only one that voted that day for that one.
So that's the one.
Or maybe it was maybe two people voted for that, and it ended up being number one. But that was fun. So I totally recommend going there after you visit the Space Needle because it's a touristy. You got to do it.
I wouldn't go and not do it. Yeah.
Yeah. So,
I mean, although I can understand why your friends wouldn't want.
Yeah, because they've already done it and they've done
it like the first 60 times somebody's visited them.
Yeah, and I was not the first person to visit them. So and then so we went. I think it might have been it was the same day. We were like we heard that the was it The Walking Dead? They just came out with the Walking Dead pinball machine.
Oh, wow.
It's brand new. Like they like kind of released it at the Pinball Expo, which was happening at the same time.
At the same time,
as me being in Seattle, and which meant that the Pinball Museum in Seattle was closed the whole weekend.
So you couldn't go.
But no, whatever. I played enough fucking pinball. So yeah,
let's not feel bad for Steve. He got
So we went and we played the Walking Dead one at this place that was sort of on the outskirts of the city.
Yeah,
it might have been in the burbs. I'm not exactly sure.
Right.
But it was a neat little place. And it was like in the middle of a sort of residential area, and so we're just like, this is weird. And so we went in, and like the bar was very like there was a lot of cool artwork on the walls and whatnot. And then we go down this hallway, and there's like some nudie pictures, and, like nudie like glasses, of like just not graphic, but topless ladies. And I'm like, okay, that's weird.
That's
and then
strange.
This is how I get to the pinball, and I'm like, I guess hey, children shouldn't be at a bar anyways. So
I guess so.
Who gives a shit? There should naked people, whatever.
Yeah. There were no children allowed at that bar that has the clown glory hole, right?
I don't know.
I
don't think children should be allowed at bars in general.
No, they shouldn't. But anyway, sorry.
It wasn't one of those restaurant bars where it's like, it wasn't like Applebee's.
Okay, good. I was like, oh God.
It was a gay bar.
Yeah.
So I don't think children are going to be hanging out there.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry.
So we go and we're playing the game or the pinball game a little bit, and then a little bit later, Mike's like, "You should look up," and I'm like, as I'm walking through the hallway, and I look up, and sure enough, that's a clit, and the hallway I'm walking down is a vagina.
This is in the bar?
In the bar!
Okay.
I didn't realize it because I was like...
So you were being birthed into the pinball room?
Well, no, it was the opposite. It was
okay. Oh, you were being taken back into the womb.
Yeah, to play pinball.
To play pinball.
It was very like there was a lot of red in there.
Yeah.
Like very like fluffy stuff. I guess.
So it was not a trimmed... no.
No. I'm talking about inside.
Oh, inside. The womb. Oh God, what's she doing if she's got?
No. It was just like it was.
It's pink fluffy stuff.
Yeah, it was pink fluffy stuff. So it was like a comfortable place to watch the football game in the womb. And or play pinball.
I don't know what this says psychologically about the place.
I don't know. It was a weird look. It was a weird place, but I dug it. And we were there, of course, at happy hour, and I was drinking $2 Olympias. It's like I guess the capital of Washington is Olympia.
Okay.
And so that was the name of the beer I was drinking, and it wasn't great, but it was $2. So I'm like, who cares? Instead of because I spent a lot of money on this trip, I'm like, any chance I had to not spend a shitload of money, I was like, oh, cool, I'll do that.
$2, yeah. So how was the Walking Dead pinball game?
It was good. We did well.
Yeah.
Playing it, I when I first played it, I did really well, but then I got past the point of being intoxicated where I was good, because there's a certain like billiards or darts.
Yeah.
At a certain point, I'm really good, but it's insanely hard, in fact, impossible to maintain that level of intoxication.
Because you're continuing to get intoxicated, or
if you stop drinking, you sober up and you're like, oh, I'm not as good anymore. Or if you drink more, you have to drink just the right amount more, or else you're going to get more drunk. And I just was drinking way too much, so I eventually just started being really shitty.
That's a bummer.
But yeah, it was all in all a fun trip to Seattle. Yeah. So thanks, Mike and Sarah. You guys are the best.
Do I have to talk about more next week? Like, is there more that we've missed?
There's some little things here and there that if I remember, I'll talk about. Or if Mike is listening and he wants to email us and tell me, you're a dick, you forgot about this really cool part.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, I did forget about a really cool part.
See, right
Whenever
there.
we were back at their place, if Sarah had to work the next day, Mike and I would be just up listening to music and doing Photoshops. Wow. So we the song of the weekend basically was Randy Newman's "Short People."
I did not know this was a Randy Newman song. Okay.
Oh, you never heard that song? It's a good one. You could find it if you want to put it at the end.
Okay.
It's a really mean song about midgets. It's very, very mean. It's there's actually two verses, in the middle of it that I think maybe his producer of the song was like, you need to put that in there because this song is fucking. You're just digging it.
It's really mean. Yeah.
Yeah. So there's this verse. It's like, short people are just the same as you and me, and it's like somebody else singing it, and it's not Randy because apparently he hates short people.
Yeah. He's not gonna sully his image as a short people hater.
So we did this Photoshop of Randy Newman just naked, and then we did another one. I was wearing my hat.
I should do. Yeah.
And we did it. I was wearing my hat, and I put it on backwards, and I just go, I kind of look like Ed Harris from Truman Show, with my hat on backwards.
Yes.
And then, of course, Mike just found a picture of Ed Harris and a picture of a man who was overweight and didn't have the most impressive package in the world, sitting naked on a log in the woods. And he photoshopped Ed Harris's head on him. and then a little bit later, we got a pinball making machine or pinball machine making program.
Yeah.
And he just put that as the background for the pinball machine. Naked Ed Harris.
The things pals do when they're up late and they don't have to go to work the next day.
Yep.
Yeah.
So yeah, Mike will be happy we talked about it.
He will, because that would have been what he wrote in about, right? He'd be like, "But naked Ed Harris,
naked Ed Harris, you're a dick,
you're a dick." So before we go,
we have email. A Foley artist.
We have Foley artist. We have email, and it's a very, very sad email. And I will read it to you so that you know. I will tell you why it's really sad first.
Okay.
Because the artist formerly known as Beep has said that we can use his name on the podcast.
Yay!
So there's no more me bleeping out Brian's name.
Hooray! We can say Brian now.
We can say Brian.
Did you bleep it out last week when I was talking about another Brian?
No. That I was like, all right, the people who listening carefully enough can probably figure out from context that the name we've been bleeping out
is Brian.
Now we can officially say Brian.
Hooray!
Because he asked if we could give a shout out to a book that he has a chapter in, which I think we can. Yes. Because he has provided endless entertainment, not only in the drunk episode where you made me beep his name every time.
I was sort of drunk last time.
Because, of all the people who write in, he writes in emails regularly, and they have interesting stuff to say, and we've gotten many, many minutes of the podcast out of stuff from Brian. So he has a chapter in the book called Deconstructing Brad Pitt, which is interesting. I want to read it now because I'd like to deconstruct Brad Pitt and not just
lick his asshole.
Not just lick his asshole. So we'll put the Amazon link in the show notes, and the show notes for this episode are at clarkwoods.com/hot/13. And he contributes the coda, which I think a coda is a fancy name for the end, right?
I don't know. Don't look at me.
I'm the one that teaches English.
I'm not a literary person.
No, I know what it is. I was just trying to make a funny, and I didn't. He contributes the coda failure, and there's a blog post about why you should read the book, and we'll link to that as well. That's at bloomsburyfilmandmedia.typepad.com, and I'll put the rest of it in the show notes. But anyway, so yeah, I read a little bit about it. Has he told you anything about the book?
Well, he told me that he wrote you an email about it.
Okay, yeah. So no, I read a little bit about it. I read the blog post. I haven't gone over to Amazon myself yet. But it of all the people that you could write a whole book on, Brad Pitt seems to me like you could write a book on Brad Pitt. He's an interesting feller.
He has an interesting body of work and
an interesting body. I'm not saying I wouldn't lick his asshole, if you know what I mean.
Gross.
Yeah, no. So Brian has a chapter in that.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right.
And his chapter's called Failure. Did I say that?
Yes.
I'm most interested in that because I'm like, well, I think of Brad Pitt as
read the whole damn book, but also read his chapter.
Read his chapter, and then leave a review on Amazon. I gotta say that not just for Brian's sake, but one of the things I've realized, because I have a new volume in my Geek Force 5 series coming out on Tuesday.
Ooh.
And I'm teaching a
Did you put our show in the special thanks to our show?
I didn't, but I will next
Dipshit.
time. I know. But Amazon reviews are one of the number one ways that people can find out about, especially obscure books like mine. I don't know who the publisher is actually of Deconstructing Brad Pitt, but it doesn't matter. Reviews always help. And
especially, and also while you're at it, go to Apple or
go to iTunes or wherever and review us, motherfuckers.
Yeah, give us a review or at least give us a 5-star rating or something.
Because that's the other Amazon. Because what I did is I looked at on Amazon, and I don't know if it works the same way on podcasts. I'll have to go look at iTunes. The number of reviews come up and then the stars come up. You don't see if you're looking at people also listened to or people also read. So even stars will help. So just give us stars if you're too lazy to write something.
Or some other of the Lucky Charms.
I mean, I would say give us a thumbs up. But what?
I don't know.
No, there probably are.
Do plugs for our things.
Yeah, plugs for our things. You can find us on Twitter. I am at ECC1977.
And I am at Tuesday IS Loser.
Yes, and if you want to send us an email like Brian did, like others have, you can send that email to hot@clarkwoods.com.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Well, we made it through another show, Chris, and I'm glad to see you. It's been a while.
It's been a while.
Did you have a good week off from recording?
A week off. It was my wife's birthday. We went and played in the leaves for a while.
Oh.
Well, we didn't. My kids did. I don't know if I'd want to play. Play with my wife in the leaves. That doesn't seem like that's the sort of thing that you do.
Well, they call it give a roll in the hay. You could have a roll in the leaves.
Roll in the leaves, but it seems like it would be uncomfortable.
Well, so is a roll in the hay. Because then you have hay up your back.
Or up your ass.
Well, did you lick it out?
That's what I forgot to do.
Good night, everybody.